Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to another half hour, another 25 minutes, this time alone. I'm alone with you, just you and me, so let's get to work. This is a pen. It's in my right hand. It's not in my left hand. I'm holding the pen. I'm holding the pen loosely. I'm not holding the pen tightly. Tight and loose. Now I use a pen. What is a pen for? What is a pen for? A pen is for writing. For writing. It's for writing letters. It's for making notes. A pen, what is a pen for? What is a glass for? A glass is for containing water and for drinking water. What's a telephone for? A telephone is for making telephone calls and speaking to other people on the phone, of course. What is a, hello? What is a microphone for? It's for propagating, in this case, my voice, but in general, it's for propagating a person's voice. What is a table for? A table is for providing a surface to put things on. What is a pocket for? A pocket is for holding objects, like my telephone, my pen. This glass is a bit difficult. No, I can't. This glass is too big for my pocket. My pocket is too small. My pocket is too small to accommodate this glass. Well, let me try. Just a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Just a second. Well, it can work. But still, this glass is too big. My pocket is too small. This glass isn't small enough. My pocket isn't big enough. Cuatro formas de decir lo mismo. There's a problem here. Why can't I put this glass in my pocket? Maybe I can put the mic. No, I can't put the microphone in my pocket either. Why not? 4 problems, all exactly the same. The microphone is too big for my pocket. My pocket is too small for the microphone. The microphone isn't small enough for my pocket, or my pocket isn't big enough to accommodate this microphone. But now I would like to touch the ceiling, but I can't. I can't touch the ceiling. It's too high. The ceiling is too high. Now really, to tell you the truth, the ceiling isn't very high, it's a normal ceiling. Y tenéis en español la práctica habitual de decir, no puedo tocar el techo porque está muy alto. Pero no es verdad, el techo no está muy alto aquí. O no es muy alto, es bastante bajo. Sin embargo, es demasiado alto para mí. It's too high. En este caso en inglés siempre usamos too. Nunca very. For example, el micrófono no lo alcanzo, está muy lejos. ¿Qué va? Está cerca, pero está demasiado lejos para mí. It's too far, okay? Now, so, if I want to touch the ceiling, it's too high for me. I'm too short. The ceiling isn't low enough, or I'm not tall enough. Okay, this is interesting, okay? Is English too difficult for you? It's not easy enough? Are you intelligent enough to learn English? Okay. So, this is a pen. I'm holding a pen. I'm holding it in my right hand. I'm holding it with 2 fingers, my index finger and my thumb. Now, what do I use a pen for? A pen is for writing, and I can write my name in different places. And this, what's this? This is a piece of paper. Piece of paper, escrito piece, piece. También se puede decir a sheet, como hoja. Sheet of paper. But normally, me personally, I say a piece of paper. Now, I can write my name in the middle of the paper. I can write my name at the top. I can write my name in capital letters at the bottom. Okay. I can write my name on the back, in the middle, in cursive. I can write my name in cursive. I can write my name in the top right corner on the back. I can write my name at the bottom left corner on the back. This is the front of the paper, and this is the back. You say anverso y reverso, o I don't say anverso y el dorso. Now you say at the top, at the bottom, in the middle, in the top right corner, in the top left corner, in the bottom right corner, in the bottom left corner. También puedes añadir hand. In the top right-hand corner, in the bottom left-hand corner, etc. To write my name. Now a pen is for writing. A microphone is for propagating sound. A telephone is for making phone calls. A business card is for giving to people. And a glass is for drinking from. Estoy expresando la funcionalidad. ¿Qué funcionalidad tiene un teléfono? Es para hacer llamadas, para poner llamadas. For making telephone calls. Uso for más gerundio. ¿Y un abrelatas? ¿Para qué es un abrelatas? A can opener, a tin opener, es lo mismo. In England, tin opener. In America, can opener. Una lata is a can or a tin. A can opener is for opening cans. A bottle opener is for opening bottles. A camera is for filming me. Okay? Siempre uso for más el gerundio cuando expreso funcionalidad. A television is for watching. A light is for illuminating. Okay? My vocal cords is for propagating my voice, mis cuerdas vocales. My eyes are for seeing. My hands are for grasping and using. Functionality. Ahora, ¿cuándo usamos el infinitivo? Estoy aquí para enseñar inglés. I'm here to teach English. Okay? I'm here to help you. Okay, that's purpose. Funcionalidad, propósito. Cuando es funcionalidad, solemos usar for más el gerundio. Cuando es propósito, to más infinitivo. Okay? ¿Para qué uso? Un boli es para escribir. A bolígrafo, a pen is for writing. Ahora, si yo digo, I use a pen to write. I use a telephone to make phone calls. Ahora expreso el propósito de uso. I use this phone to make phone calls. Why? Because this phone is for making calls. I use a pen to write. Why? Because a pen is for writing. I don't use a business card for writing. I don't use it to write because it's not for writing. I don't use a microphone to write because a microphone is not for writing, it's for propagating your voice. Now, a telephone is for making calls. And when you make telephone calls in English, it's quite difficult. Many people are afraid to use the phone in English or to receive calls because they can't see the person's eyes, they can't read the person's lips, and many Spanish people feel afraid of making calls. But it's not very difficult. Let's start with the formal way, okay? Let's imagine you need to make a phone call, to make a telephone call, to place a telephone call. To place es colocar. En lenguaje muy formal decimos en inglés colocar una llamada, que es poner una llamada, poner una conferencia. To place a telephone call. And let's say, digamos, that you don't have a secretary who can place the call for you, so you need to call. So you dial the number. Se dice dial como si fuera con un dial antes. So you dial or mark the number for the London offices of your company. And you want to speak to John Thompson, for example, the Señor Thompson, to John Thompson, okay? Now, if it's a big company, probably it's a good idea to know the person's name and his department or her department. So when you call, if it's a big company, the first person to answer the phone is probably a telephonist, a call center, or a receptionist. And they say things, a company like XYZ Company, la compañía XZY o YZ, XYZ Company, may I help you? And at that point, you simply say, well, if you hear may I help you, or hello, just simply say, yes, I would like to speak to, or you say the person's name. If I call, I'm an impatient person. When they say, XYZ Company, may I help you? Yes, Mr. John Thompson, please. Marketing department. If it's a big company, I would say, Mr. John Thompson in marketing, please. Voy directamente al grano. But that's a bit assertive. It's very assertive and a bit strong. You can say, I would like to speak to John Thompson, please. Marketing department. And if this person says, well, Mr. Thompson is not in, then may I leave a message? Okay. But usually, if it's a big company, the telephonist will pass you to the person's secretary or to the receptionist in that department. And so another voice will say, marketing department, may I help you? Or hello, simply hello, and you say, I would like to speak to Mr. Thompson, please. And this is the case in which often they say, may I ask who's calling? May I ask who's calling? And here you need to be very clear on how you say your name. If your name is Perez, I recommend you say Perez. If your name is Garcia, I recommend you say Garcia. All right? If your name is Rodriguez, I recommend you say Rodriguez. Try to anglify Spanish proper names and say from. Yes, this is Mr. Perez from the Madrid office. This is Mr. Rodriguez from the Seville office. This is Mr. Let's see, Gomez, no Gómez, no digáis Gómez, así cortante, Gomez from the Barcelona office. Or this is Mrs. Perez from the Bilbao office. And then they will pass you to the person in question or say, well, Mr. Johnson is not in. May I take a message? And they will ask two possibilities. May I take a message? ¿Puedo tomar un recado? Or would you like to leave a message? Or can you tell me what the matter is? In which case, you say, no, it's not important. No, thank you. It's not urgent. It's not urgent. Es una forma muy socorrida de parar una llamada o de parar una conversación. No, no, it's not urgent. I'll call back later, or I'll call back tomorrow. Okay? Now, let's recapitulate a bit. You're calling from, for example, Zaragoza. No digáis nunca Zaragoza, porque nadie va a entender el ceceo español. You're calling from Zaragoza to London or to New York. If it's a large company, the telephonist. And the telephonist said, IBM, may I help you? IBM, ¿en qué le puedo servir? May I help you? Said, yes, I would like to speak to Charles Smith in marketing, please. Yes, I would like to speak to Charles Smith in marketing, please. One moment, please. And they pass you to another person, which is normally a secretary or an administrative assistant. And that person, yes, hello? And you always say, yes. Así se empieza. Yo empiezo siempre con, yes, I would like, cuando dicen, hello, may I help you? Yes. I would like to speak to Charles Smith, please. This is Pedro Perez from the Madrid office. Ah, Mr. Perez. No se dice Pedro Pérez. You say Pedro Perez. Tratad, por favor, de anglificar las palabras o los sustantivos, los nombres propios. Por ejemplo, Madrid, nadie lo entiende. Madrid. Zaragoza, nobody understands. Zaragoza. Valencia, nobody understands. Valencia, con V, como si fuera un F. Valencia. Y el ceceo no existe en inglés. Entonces, si dices la zarzuela de Zaragoza, en inglés, the zarzuela in Zaragoza. Because when an English speaker hears Barcelona, they automatically imagine a th en medio. Porque el ceceo en inglés existe. Pero es la th. Think. Piensa en los teatros. Think about theaters. Eso sí que es el ceceo en inglés, pero es una th. Si decís Zaragoza, a no ser que la persona sepa español, entiende una palabra que empieza por th, and they don't know what city you're talking about. For example, when I'm speaking Spanish, I always say, I was born, nací en Houston. Me crié en Oklahoma. I never say, I was born, nací en Houston. Me crié en Oklahoma. I always Spanishize the proper nouns, okay? If I'm talking about the famous actor, ayer vi en el Hard Rock a Robert Redford, okay? Si yo digo, ayer vi en el Hard Rock Robert Redford, Spanish people don't understand me. So, I change the pronunciation of proper names. And that's very important for you when you call people. Remember, Madrid, 50% of the time, if you say, this is Carlos Perez from Madrid, 50% of the people don't understand Madrid. You have to try to say it in an English way, Madrid, okay? So, one more time. You dial the number, and the person says, IBM, may I help you? Yes, I would like to speak to Charles Smith in marketing, please. One moment, please, or hold the line. They pass you to another person. This is marketing, may I help you? Yes, I would like to speak to Charles Smith, please. This is Pedro Perez from Zaragoza, from the Zaragoza office in Spain. One moment, please. And she checks. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Perez, but Mr. Evans is not in, or Mr. Smith. May I take a message? Yes. Tell him that I will give him a ring or that I will call him back. Tell him that I will call him back after lunch or later this afternoon or tomorrow morning or tomorrow after lunch. Okay? Or, le puedo decir que me llame. Can you please have him call me as soon as possible? Can you please? Aquí se pone please en medio. Can you please have him call me as soon as possible? It's about the problem with the gearboxes, las cajas de cambios, por ejemplo. Okay, it's about the problem with the gearboxes. Could you please tell him to call me? Can you please have him call me? Curiosa forma de hablar en inglés. Literalmente, le puedes tener que me llame. Can you please have him call me? Que es una forma educada de que me llame, por favor, cuando pueda. Que me llame. Puede decirle que me llame es un poco más fuerte. Can you tell him to call me is a bit stronger. Can you please have him call me as soon as possible? Let me repeat. My name is Carlos Perez, and I work in the Zaragoza office of IBM. Okay. Very well, Mr. Perez, don't worry. I'll pass the message to him. Now, another possibility is you call and say, would you like to leave a message, or may I ask who's calling? Say, well, this is Carlos Perez from Zaragoza. Would you like to leave a message, Mr. Perez? No, it's not important. It's not urgent. I'll call back. I'll call back later. Okay. I'll call back later. Goodbye. Aquí he usado el futuro. Llamaré más tarde. Llamaré mañana. Es un correctísimo castellano también. Sin embargo, se usa mucho en España. En otros países hispanohablantes no lo sé, pero aquí se usa mucho el presente en vez del futuro en ciertos casos. Por ejemplo, mañana te lo digo mañana. Bueno, te lo digo cuando terminemos. Mira, le llamo después de la clase. Le llamo, no le llamaré. Es más correcto probablemente decir le llamaré después de la clase, pero se dice más aquí. En cuanto termine la clase le llamo, no te preocupes. Ahora lo hago, enseguida lo hago, luego lo hago. Si puedo, la mato. Okay? Estas cosas usando el presente. Okay? In English, no. You must use the future. You must use the simple future. Enseguida lo hago. I'll do it right away. Ahora mismo le llamo. I'll call him in just a few minutes. Ahora le veo, no te preocupes. Ahora le veo, okay? I'll see him in just a few minutes, don't worry. Ahora cambio de cámara. Now I'll change to a different camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And now, enseguida limpio suelo. Ahora limpio suelo, no te preocupes. I'll clean the floor in just a few minutes. Enseguida le llamo, no te preocupes. I'll call him right away. So, when you're using this type of expression in Spanish, please use the future, because it doesn't sound good in English. Suena primitivo usar el presente. Si dices, mañana le llamo, y dices en inglés, tomorrow I call him, suena Tarzán o a Terminator 2. No, tomorrow I'll call him. I'll call him tomorrow. Mañana te entrego el informe. ¿Cuándo me entregas el informe? Te lo entrego mañana. I'll give you the report tomorrow. I'll give you the report tomorrow. Okay? So, to go back, when you make telephone calls, The important thing is to relax, don't worry. But be prepared to say things, proper names, very, very clearly. Okay? And make sure you ask in a very simple way. When I call, I call. When the person says, IBM in New York, IBM New York, may I help you? Yes. Peter Evans, please, in marketing. I don't say, can you put me through? Me puede poner con. Eso es buscar problemas. Can you put me through to Mr. Peter Evans, please? Eso es un poco barroco. I would like to speak to es un poco más sencillo, pero lo más sencillo de todo es Peter Evans, please, from marketing. Or Peter Evans from marketing, please. And usually the telephonist passes you straight away. And then you talk to a second person. Then you need to be more specific. Hello, may I speak to Peter Evans, please? This is Carlos Perez from the Madrid office. Or this is Carlos Perez from a Spanish supplier. Okay? And then she will say, one moment, please, and she'll confer. Decimos en es conferir. Or she will check with Mr. Evans. And then she'll get back to you and say, Mr. Perez, I'll put you through. And thank you very much. And then you speak to Mr. Perez. And then it's your problem, okay, to talk to Mr. Perez or to talk to Mr. Evans. But the important thing is to be clear on who you are and to be clear in pronouncing the name of the person in the person's department. And it's very easy. And when you have introductions, for example, if you're at a cocktail party enjoying a cocktail and you have to be introduced, all right, it's very simple. How do you do? When you meet a person the first time, encantado, mucho gusto, encantado, in English, how do you do? How do you do? Or simply, hello, how are you? Glad to meet you, nice to meet you, good to meet you, pleased to meet you. To meet, por supuesto, es conocer por primera vez. To meet you. I remember a Spanish engineer whose English was not very good, and he was at a cocktail party, and the poor man, he had to meet about 30 or 40 American engineers in the party, in the cocktail party, and his English was very low. And he heard people saying, good to meet you, pleased to meet you, nice to meet you, and he didn't understand this. So he just said, Robert Mitchum, the famous actor, and nobody realized he was using the actor's name. In a cocktail, I recommend, how do you do? If somebody says, Carlos, this is Peter Evans. Peter, this is Carlos Perez, or Perez. And you say, how do you do? How do you do? How do you do es mucho gusto. También, hello, how are you? Pero eso es un pelín menos formal. And it's a pleasure. Yo siempre digo it's a pleasure. Yo siempre voy a lo formal. Más vale pecar por formal que por informal, siempre. So it's a pleasure. Pleased to meet you, está súper trillado, se dice tanto. Good to meet you, nice to meet you, glad to meet you, también. It's a pleasure, es una gozada para mí. Yo siempre digo it's a pleasure, okay? And if you have to introduce people a hacer presentaciones, hay una forma larga, tortuosa y barroca y una forma súper sencilla, la cual uso yo, esta última. Sí está Inés García and Aki Morita at a cocktail party, and I know both, and I want to introduce them. I say, Inés García, Aki Morita. Aki, Inés García. And that's it, okay? It's very simple. It's as simple as changing cameras. When I count 3, I will change back to the other camera. 1, 2, 3. It's easy. It's easy peasy Japanesey. Es pan comido. It's a piece of cake. English. Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith. Now, if you like to be Baroque, if you like to have long explanations, Mr. Smith, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, this is Mr. Smith. But remember the easy part. Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith. And you put them together. Etiquette, social etiquette. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, goodbye, so long, take care, take it easy. Many, many expressions that in the future classes we will continue to study. In the meantime, this class is over. Colorín colorado, this class acabado. So, study hard, and I wish you the best with your English, and I'll see you again another day. Bye-bye.